I know a lot of you have probably heard me talking about the power pole charge that we put on the boat. I just want to kind of show you the install. Dan Benson from Power Pole was nice enough to come over and help me install it into the boat, and thankfully he was here, because when you have two minds working together, it works a lot better than one mind trying to figure out all by himself. So what we had to do was we had to take one of the house batteries and put it into the console. And the reason why we did that is because where the batteries are located in our boat, they're actually in the floor. So we wanted to keep the power pole charge out of a wet environment per se. So that's why we did it. And the install was flawless. After we figured out which battery cables would go into which battery, which didn't take much time at all, we were able to move the battery without having to move any wires. We just took the existing wires and connected them from one battery to the other, and it worked out great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Dan Benson from Power Pole explain exactly what we did and what the power pole charge does for your boat and for the batteries, for your trolling motor batteries and for your house batteries. So let's get with Dan and see what he has to say about the power pole charge.
All right. So what we're going to do today, we're going to install the new power pole charge in the Sea Pro here. The big advantage that this is going to do is, number one, when you guys are back at the dock, we plug it into the wall and you recharge your batteries just like a traditional battery charger. But the big key to this is when you're out there on the water and you're using your anchor lock trolling motor and the wind and the current's kicked up, anytime you start your outboard and have your outboard running, whether you're making a move, or a lot of times when we're out there, we just start the outboard and let it idle while we're fishing. Every time you do that now with the power pole charge, we're going to recharge the trolling motor batteries from the engine's alternator. So that's going to extend your day of fishing. There's nothing worse than being on a good bite, the wind's blowing, the tide's moving, and then the trolling motor stops working, and then you got to come back to the dock and plug it in. But now with the power pole charge, you'll be able to recharge the trolling motor while you're fishing. Cool thing about the charge, it is very smart. It can charge any battery, lead acid, lithium, AGM, gel. Yes, I did say lithium. But I wanted to show you how easy it is to install. You don't have to tap into your motor's alternator or anything. We basically hook this big red and black wire to the engine battery, to your cranking battery. And then as your alternator recharges the cranking battery, we move the power. So once we're hooked up to the engine battery, we're then going to install the trolling motor leads. And luckily, the charge comes with a simple card, 36 volt, 24 volt. You follow the color code depending on what you have. And we're going to hook it to the trolling motor batteries that are up here. This boat's a little different. The trolling motor batteries are in the front and the cranking batteries in the engine. That's no problem. We're going to use our 15-foot extension and just move the trolling motor wires to the front and have the charge mounted in the console to recharge the engine battery. We'll knock this out and then we'll get into setting up the app based on what type of batteries we have in this boat. All right. So now that we have the charge mounted, we're going to wait to hook up our engine battery until our trolling motor is hooked up. The way we figure out how to hook it up is we've got 1, 2, 3 12-volt batteries to make a 36-volt system. Here's the wiring configuration for a 24-volt 2-battery system and a 24-volt single lithium. But we're going to use this one right here. We've got 36 volt with 1, 2, 3 12-volt batteries. So we need to put the red wire on the outside positive, the black wire over on the bottom side negative. So we're hooking it up like a 36-volt trolling motor. This is not like any other charger in the industry. And then the blue and the yellow wires we hook to the negative and the positive, and those are data wires. They're reading the temperature, the voltage, they're reading everything, the chemistry that's going on with these batteries, so that we can get the best charge, the longest charge, and we can optimize your batteries based on what you're running in your boat. So we're going to hook these 4 wires up, then we'll hook up the red and the black, and we'll set it all up in the app. See you in a minute. Okay, now that we've got the app downloaded, the first thing you see is My Boat. This means anything that is in your boat, any Power Pole products such as hydraulic anchors, Power Pole Micro, or the Charge. We've got an iPhone here, so to move the Charge into your boat, we hold the button down, grab these 3 lines, drag it into the boat, bounce into your boat, and just hit done. Now we're going to connect. What it's going to want us to do is then go hit the orange button. There they are. We see your trolling motor batteries and that battery. So now we need to connect. Here we go. So now what we're going to do, we're going to pair this phone to the Charge itself. So as soon as I hit start, I have 20 seconds to go into the console and hit the little orange button on the Charge. So there we go. Congratulations, we got it. Okay. Right now you can see your cranking battery is at 2.51 volts, and we can see the individual voltage of every trolling motor battery. Right now no power is moving because we're not plugged into the wall or the outboard's not running. But right now the Charge is set up for gel batteries. Those are kind of the batteries that have the least power. What we're going to do, we're going to go in and configure the charger in just a second. Let's reopen it. There we go. So we're going to go up here, hit the drop down, hit configure charger. You can see right now it's set for gel on the cranking battery, but we've actually got lead acid. So let's click on lead acid, update. Now we need to set the reserve capacity or the amp hours. So let's drop this down. We looked on each of those batteries up top, and what were the amp hours?
Is 105.
105 amp hours, or also 190 reserve capacity. So this is amp hours, and we said what, 105? 105. Actually, this one's on the engine battery, and we've got 2 of them. So we're going to double that because we hooked your engine battery and your house battery in parallel. So we've actually got 210 amp hours. So the Charge is going to charge both of those batteries. Now let's take a look at our auxiliary battery, which is our trolling motor batteries. We're going to switch those to lead acid. And then here we're going to do amp hours on those were the 105s. Yeah. 105. And those are in series. So we don't add up all 3. We only do the amp hours of one battery. We hit done. We hit update. Okay. And you can see everything is reading basically perfect. Right now I have it set for shared priority. If I wanted, when the outboard's running, to focus more on the engine, I can move the slider to engine. If I want to, say I know I'm going to troll a lot, I know I'm going to anchor lock a lot out there on the water, I can move it from engine and set the priority for trolling. The Charge is always going to make sure you have enough power to start your outboard so you can always get back, but it's going to continually top off your trolling motor batteries. You can see up here it has emergency start not available. If for some reason you were out there and you anchor locked all day long, you ran all your live wells, all your stereo, all your lights, you ignored the warnings that you should probably start your outboard, and your engine battery goes totally dead, this will become available where you can hit emergency start. You'll hit that button, and what the Charge will actually do, each one of these trolling motor batteries, let's say they were completely dead at 9 volts. Well, 9 times 3 is 27 volts. So we can move the remaining power from your dead trolling motor batteries and recharge that cranking battery and get that outboard started so you can get home. So you've got an emergency backup in the Charge. So a traditional charger, on the run charger, and an emergency backup. And then when you do start that outboard, it starts recharging all the batteries on your way back to the dock. So we built the Charge for tournament anglers, for charter captains, but everybody that needs more power throughout the day and wants to gain a longer time of fishing while you're out there, that's what the Charge will do for you. as soon as Todd plugged that in, you could see right now it says it's plugged into AC power. We've got our cranking battery at 87%, and it's reading your trolling motors right now. They say they're at 24, but it's going to fast charge them, and they're already moving up. See, 24, 56. You can see one battery's 13.9. So it's already topping off your trollers because they were pretty full. And you can see 4.8 volts is going to each of the trolling batteries. Now 11.9 is going to your cranking battery, 12.6 to your cranking battery. So you can really monitor everything and know the day before where your battery is at and am I good to go. All right, it took a little longer than we thought. We ran an update on the SIMRAD to get the latest software, but after we did that, we were able to program the charge. It's in the NEMA backbone, and right here on the sidebar, anytime you want to see where your batteries are at, you can see right now they're plugged into the wall. 2.8 amps are going to the cranking battery. It's just topping it off, conditioning it. The trolling motors are fully charged, 100%. So anytime you're out on the water, right now you'll be able to see all that data on your SIMRAD or on your phone.